I'm all for doing self-audits, so that's what this video is going to do. We're going to set up a self-audit for yourself, and yeah, you suck at trading if, well, let's just get to it. Now, I do want to make an educational example out of this, but this is also being done kind of with tongue-in-cheek as a joke too. But for those of you that have been kind of around on social media or the message boards, you know that I do video charts where I'll take a company's stock chart and I'll just give my thoughts on it. And over the years, there have been some conspiracies, rumors, things where, hey, whenever Clay does a video chart, that means the stock's going to go down the next day. And there's many varieties of this, but the core of this, conspiracy, or this, in some people's mind, this fact is, if Clay does a video chart, the stock is going to go down. And I want to just look at one message that I get. And again, if you've been following my videos for a while, or just, are on social media, then you've seen plenty of people say, uh-oh, Clay's here, or, hey, Clay, that means it's going to go down, all sorts of things. So this is not new to you, but maybe if you're not aware of it, I just want to give you one little message and a sampling of just kind of somebody and what this is summarizing. So this comes from a message board, and I blocked out a bunch of it just because it's irrelevant for this, but their final statement here is as follows: that your followers know and you know when to short, because when you show up, 99% of the time the ticker goes down. Now let me break this down. 99%. So out of 100 times, this person's saying that 99 of those times the ticker is going to go down in price, and that you know and your followers know when to short. Think about it. No, that's a very powerful word. Not your followers think, you may think, you know when to short, because 99% of the time it goes down. So there's a couple things going on here. There's really two scenarios that I'm going to kind of just, if you fall into this, yeah, you suck at trading, and we'll get to it. But the first scenario is this: you suck at trading if you are not shorting. Think about it. This person is saying that 99% of the time the price is going to go down if your video shows up. So wouldn't any sort of rational person say, I've just discovered the Holy Grail. This guy shows up, he does a video, and then the price goes down. I should probably be shorting. But yet, none of these people do. They claim, some people, now I should give credit where credit's due. This person said 99% of the time. There's been plenty of times where people say every time or all the time. But in this person's defense, they did say 99% of the time. So I don't want to beat this person up too much. But there's people out there that, like I said, literally 99% of the time, some people are using words like all, yet they're not shorting. They just sit there and complain about it. They call names, do this, just a rational person, a logical person. If that's you, you suck. Why aren't you shorting? If that's what happens 90% of the time or all the time, why are you not shorting? And the other funny part is, I had some people say, oh, I short all of them. And I say, oh, you do? Okay, show me some screenshots. Show me the past, month or 2 months with your account growth. And then, that's just like the floodgates open up. And I've never ever actually seen any screenshots from people that even do proclaim that they are shorting. But that's rare in and of itself. Most people are just complaining. They're making all these statements. But why are you not shorting? I'm going to tell you why they're not shorting. Because, and I'm going to, kind of this is like an open letter to all the internet trolls out there that are saying this, is you don't believe it. Why don't you believe it? Well, because I honestly do believe that you are a rational person, that you are a logical person. And if you did believe it, you would be doing number one. There's no question about it. If you honestly believe these numbers, then you would, I've discovered the Holy Grail. Now, oh, well, it's hard to find penny stocks. It's hard to find brokers to short, blah, blah. No, you would find a way, because hey, if I can do it, which is what your claim is, if my group can do it, then clearly you're acknowledging that there is a way out there to do it. And if you honestly believe that this was the Holy Grail, you would find a way. But you don't believe it. And yeah, I highly doubt anybody that believes this is even watching this video, but hey, maybe I stumbled across a couple people, but you don't believe what you're proclaiming. That means you suck at trading. You're just not any good. Now, the main reason, and this is where the educational point comes in here, but the big thing here is the reason that people from either of these camps suck at trading, and this is universal, is because, let's just bring this down here. Who are you blaming? That's the massive problem here. Is not as funny as it is, and it's just kind of like, come on, are you serious? I mean, when you break it down, as I've done, either you do believe it and you're an idiot, you suck at trading because you're not going and taking advantage of it, or you're an idiot and you suck at trading because, well, you just don't believe it. And you're just, well, you're blaming others, and that's where that comes into play. And you're never going to succeed. You are going to suck at trading, and you're always going to suck at trading if you don't look in the mirror and blame yourself. Not some conspiracy theory, oh, well, this guy showed up on YouTube and he did a video and that's why it went down. I mean, come on. Has it ever crossed your mind that maybe you got a bad entry? Has it ever crossed your mind that maybe you got too greedy and you were actually in the green and then all of a sudden you just held too long? Perhaps that's a problem. Maybe it's your trade management. Maybe it's your entry points. Maybe it's just you're not picking stocks with enough volume in it. Have you ever thought about any of that instead of going to, well, you know, it's you know, blaming some external force? Now, in many cases, I'll give credit where it's credit. Am I saying that this is like all over the place out there? It's not all over the place. But the point here is that who are you blaming on a losing trade? Are you all of a sudden looking to cast doubt somewhere else? Or are you going into the mirror and saying, yeah, that was on me. How can I learn from it? What do I need to do better? Or are you saying, that was, and you're pointing to any sort of external force other than yourself? Only you can answer that, and you got to be honest when you answer it. But yeah, you definitely suck at trading if you're not going to blame yourself, if you're not going to take personal responsibility. Now, sure, I fully get it. There's random events out there that can happen that can just be, you know, just out of your total control. I get it. But those are very far and few in between, and it's a very rare circumstance. So 95% of the time, who are you going to blame? Who are you blaming? Ideally, you're new and haven't even started to get in the market. Just realize that you're setting up you're setting yourself on the path to suck if you plan on always blaming other people. There should be no ego in trading. You don't have to always be right. You won't always be right in trading, and that's fine. That doesn't make you a bad trader. That just means you got to improve. You got to keep learning. You got to control that risk. All the different things that I, preach about time and time again on this channel. So, yeah, for those of you that maybe do think it's happening 99% of the time, why aren't you out there doing it? Or maybe it's kind of just like, all right, yeah, I really am just blaming somebody else, and hopefully you can learn from it. But at the end of the day, look in the mirror. That's the person you need to blame.